Looking at cities from a plane or at the world from space, you see lights. Lights everywhere. Wherever there's people, there is lights. And that's what inspired this project. I had a laser cutout of the world lying around out of 3mm MDF. And I glued that onto a 3mm waterproof plywood. In this case, the world still had to be filled, which I used epoxy resin with a glow-in-the-dark powder. After that, I had to cut it into an oval shape using my jigsaw. I did a prior video where I used the cable spool to create a coffee table. And since you guys liked that project, I figured I'd make another one, just do it a little more detailed this time. So I cut out 2 half moons out of waterproof plywood and nailed it to the bottom shelf. The tabletop is going to be the world map. After gluing and nailing it, I used a router with a flush trim bit to cut away the excess plywood. The small nails I used to fasten the plywood created little holes which needed to be filled using wood filler. Once dried, I sanded it. I then continued with the tabletop, and since I wanted to put an inlay using the world map, I didn't have to fill in the whole space in the middle, which saved me some routing afterwards. Using the wooden dowels and wood glue, I joined the 4 boards together, creating the tabletop. And it seems like one never has enough clamps of the right size. But somehow, after some back and forth, I made it work with what I had. After it all dried, I took it out of the clamps, and then it was time to put in the centerpiece, the world map. I first marked the outlines where the piece was going to go, and then using my router, I routed out the form which the world map would be laid into. And while working on the tabletop, I took some time in between to stain the wooden base. I wanted to have it a darker wood color instead of the light pine wood, so I used a dark stain to stain it. Using my skill saw and a track sled, I cut the tabletop square and also put a 45-degree edge on the corner. 2 sides are nice and square, cut off, but 2 sides still hold the live edge, and using my hand grinder I cleaned those up. I also routed all the sharp-edged corners. Once the wood stain dried, I used sandpaper, lightly sanded it, which gave it a more realistic effect. Doesn't look as painted after sanding. Then it was time to glue the centerpiece into the inlay. I like the idea that everybody is a light in their community or in their world. That's why I had laser engraved "You are the light of the world" on the bottom of the centerpiece. It gives it the additional message: if we all are light, the whole world will shine brightly. Using epoxy resin, I filled in the space which was needed to make it flush with the rest of the tabletop. Then using my hand grinder, I sanded off the first epoxy resin top part and then sanded it again with my sander. After all that was done, I finished it with a clear coat of varnish using my spray gun.